welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel, whichever one it may be. And if you are new here, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, do all those wonderful things, and just let me know what you think. So this is like my first and probably only video for this week. I don't even know if I'm going to be doing one tomorrow. Really just depends on how things go, how I feel, everything like that. But in case you didn't know, probably didn't, I had some issues with my 3D printer this week, and it kind of took up most of my time, and we're going to talk about that a little bit in this WIP and Chat. But let's go ahead and talk about what we're doing first. I'm going to be working on this picture. This is Bookworm, which is the little ghost in the library, and we're going to be just working on this picture today. Well, I'm going to be, to start finishing up the challenge for Jack and Eileen's diamond painting event that they've had going on in March, which is called March Mayhem. I don't know if those have places. So there's just a little bit, and I see I just spilled some coffee on it, and now I can see some more coffee. It's been one of those days, you know, just one of those weeks, actually. I'm just gonna go with this. It's been one of those weeks. So we're gonna start finishing up the filling in. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to be able to post it with all of the final pictures today. I mean, I will be able to post it with all the finals once I finish it, but it'll probably be tomorrow. Oh, sorry, Winnie. You're there? Okay. Okay, you're good. Where are you? Right there. Oh, yeah, bite me. Yep. I deserve it. Okay. Anyway, we're going to start working on this one, which is section 7. So I'll do that. My nice, cute little cover minder, which I think I got from Loena Designs. Anyway, let's go ahead and zoom in on section 7 here. I'm going to move this just a little bit and zoom in. I think, what are we seeing? We're seeing the whole section. Okay. So we are seeing the whole section. I am going to use this tray from NYX's Notions. This is the Motley Dragon tray. It's interesting. Anyway, we're going to use this tray, and we are filling in all of the odd, even numbers. I already did the odd ones. We're filling in all of the even numbers because that was the challenge this week, was to fill in the sections, basically. But I haven't had any time to work on this because my 3D printer was an absolute nightmare. It's continuing to be a nightmare, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Prints are happening. I managed to get an order out. I am working on another one right now, which is actually for Eileen from Diamond Crafts with Eileen. It is her order. And I'm working on it. So if she happens to watch this, it's getting worked on, Eileen, I promise. I'm trying, but you'll see some issues here. So first, let's talk with what happened with the 3D printer. What? That was weird. Bookworm also comes out from Bella Art Diamonds. And it's by Lauren Laguerre, or Laguerre, something like that. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name. And there's a cute picture. Anyway, we'll start with my 3D printer. So I had started to have some issues with the printing. Just standard issues, a little bit of stringing, some blobbing, the print's just not behaving themselves kind of stuff. Where is my... There it is. I need this. And I started to troubleshoot, and I changed out the nozzle on my hot end. So a 3D printer is essentially just a giant glue gun, and it's just heating up the plastic and pushing it out through a nozzle. So I changed out the nozzle, and when I changed out the nozzle, I put it in wrong. So you know how when sometimes you're screwing stuff in and all of a sudden it's crooked in there, you know, so it's not screwed in properly? Well, I didn't notice. So guess what that did? That caused more problems with the printing. But I knew I changed out the nozzle, so I figured, oh, that must be the problem. It's the nozzle, right? So I went to change out the nozzle again, but now I can't get the nozzle to screw in. Like, it's continuing to do that thing where it gets tight and then, poof, oh, it's not tight anymore, it unscrews. You know what I mean? Like when a screw area is stripped on the inside, not like the screw itself, you know, because you can strip a screw with the screwdriver, but this would be like on the threading. The threading had been stripped slightly, so now it wasn't threading up properly. So I put an order in for a new hot end, thinking, okay, this is going to solve all my problems. Right? This is going to solve all my problems. So I put an order in for the new hot end. The new hot end came. I changed out the new hot end. Now, the new hot end came with everything already attached, so I didn't have to put it together. So it had the tubing for the plastic filament to run through the hot end out through the nozzle. It had a nozzle on already, and it was basically all I had to do was just screw it onto the machine and it was good to go, or so I thought. So anyway, I'm thinking this nozzle is brand new. This nozzle is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with the nozzle. So when my prints start to fail continuously, print after print after print, not working, I got one solid print through the machine, one. And then after that, they continued to fail. At about, well, I did get a couple more prints to go to like 75%, but then it was about 10% of the print and they were just failing continuously. So I'm watching videos troubleshooting and they're like, oh, it's probably the fan and the hot end is not cooling down. Because of the way the hot end is, there's a bottom part and then there's like a top part. And the bottom part can heat up that top part because it gets very, very hot. It's 200 degrees. So it's getting very, very hot. And it burns. It does. It hurts. It really hurts if you touch it. So I think, okay, well, maybe it's a problem with the nozzle. So I changed out the nozzle very carefully, making sure that I screwed it in properly. Socks is at the door. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right, so where are we? Okay, so I did change out the nozzle on the hot end to try that, but I was continuing to have failed prints. So I started troubleshooting and the fan came up. So I ordered a new fan and then I found a fan, but it wasn't the right fan that I thought I needed to get. Turns out my fans were fine anyway, but I ordered the fan and I waited the day for the fan to arrive. But I did find the fan and I replaced the other fan because there's two fans. One fan blows directly onto the hot end. I mean, they both do, but one of them puts like a straight shot right directly onto the hot end. So it cools it down faster. And that's the fan I thought I needed to change, which I actually did have that fan. So I changed it, but I ordered the new fans. So now I have two sets of brand new fans in case I ever do have any issues with fans in the future. I already have them. But in the process, I waited the day because I'm ordering from Amazon and it's taking a day for each part to arrive. So I spent 4 hours working on that machine, trying to get it to print. I think this was Tuesday night. Because Monday was the hot end, and I managed to get the one good print out of it, and then it continued to fail. And then Tuesday, and I was so frustrated. I was ready to cry. I was so frustrated with this machine. I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely horrible. What is going on? I don't understand. I had sent a message to the people who had made orders to let them know that I was having issues and that the orders would be late. So I did do that. I didn't send any others, and I'm sorry, Eileen, because I know I sent the one saying Monday, and Monday didn't happen. So I am sorry. I did contact the other person when their order shipped, because their order is printed and done and gone. But anyway, so the fans. So I did replace that fan, but turns out both fans have been working fine anyway, because then I ran a test on the fans, and now I know to test the fans before I just change them. But anyway, I tested the fans. The fans were working fine, and I was still getting failed prints. I'm like, but the fans are working. The hot end is brand new, so there shouldn't be any issues with that. What could it be? Okay, so we'll continue troubleshooting. Okay, bed leveling. So I took the bed apart. I cleaned it up really good. I put it on. I went through the process of leveling it. Okay, bed's level. That should be good, right? Like, I spent money and upgraded to a really good bed, too. So it's not like... I mean, not a lot of money. Thankfully, 3D printer parts do not cost a lot of money. In total, throughout the whole week, I spent around $30, $35 for all of the 3D printer parts that I ended up ordering. So it's not like they're extremely expensive, with the last piece being the most expensive out of all of them, which makes sense. It should be. But anyway, I'm still troubleshooting. Okay, the bed's level. The hot end should be good because it's brand new, so there should be no clogs, right? So it's brand new. Everything was put together. It was done already, right? I did end up changing out the tubing, and I had learned from the first time that I had issues that you have to take the tubing and you have to push it all the way down so that it butts up against the nozzle and all that. So I was making sure that I was pushing it down really well when I changed it out. And it wasn't going any further, so I was like, okay, it should be good. And I only changed out the tubing because the tubing that they had on the hot end was this blue color, and it, like this blue right here, and you can't see through it, so I changed it out to like a see-through tubing that I had purchased previously, so now you can see the filament going through the tube, so you could see that. Okay, so I did do that. I did change out that tubing, but that was all I had done to the hot end. Okay, so what's next? Troubleshooting away. All right, so there is a feeder up at kind of like it's on the side, more about the central point of the printer, and it feeds the filament down into the hot end. This is like crooked. Where does it start to go on crooked though? Here? Yeah, I think that was it. Yep. There we go. All right. So, looking on troubleshooting this feeder, the feeder has a motor that it runs with. And it has a cog, or a, what do you call those? I can't think. You know when the two go together and they go like around each other kind of thing, like in a clock. and it has the little ridges on it. Well, it has one of those. The name will probably come to me as I'm sitting here thinking, but it's not. But anyway, it has one of those, and then there's another one that the filament slides through. And, you know, watching the videos, they were like, well, over time, because of the filament going through it, and if you're using glow-in-the-dark filament or glitter filament or any other filaments, they can kind of wear this cog down. So I was like, okay. So I ordered new ones of those, and I ended up ordering an upgrade for that whole piece there where the filament feeds into the machine. And so I got that part in. It actually came pretty early, and I was like, oh, thank goodness. Like, it came pretty early. All right, now I shouldn't need any new parts for this machine. I've pretty much upgraded everything. I've replaced almost everything at this point. So if anything is going wrong, it means that I now have to troubleshoot with the machine itself. So I replaced that part. Well, I didn't replace that part. I did replace that part, but I didn't get around to replacing that part because I came to another snag with the motor that runs that turns that gear. That's what it is. It's a gear. So the motor that turns that gear had the gear attached to it kind of permanently, and I didn't know that. So my husband and I were looking at YouTube videos on how to get this gear off of the motor, and we can't. So I ended up giving up that night, ordered a new motor, and the motor came in, I think this was Thursday. The motor came in Thursday, and that's the one that came in, I think it came in at like 3:30 or something in the afternoon, and I was like, thank you, Amazon, for not waiting until 10 o'clock tonight to bring this in. So on Thursday, I got the new motor. I put everything together. I set it all up. I made sure it was good. I kind of might have broke that gear, but it was working. I could see it working, and the gear was making this kind of like, it was skipping. So it would turn, and then it would like back real quick. And I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, what? I've troubleshot everything at this point. Like, I've replaced everything. Why are we still failing? Like, why are these prints still not working? And it would be like, if you look at this, you'd get the very first 3 layers, like not even, we were going on the first layer of the print. The bottom of this print bed, I don't have anything that doesn't have drills in it to show, but, well, I guess this. So this very top layer right here, this layer, it was failing on that layer, and I could see it failing, and I was so frustrated. So I'm watching it, and they keep saying clog in the hot end. All right, fine. I'm gonna take the hot end apart, and we're gonna see what's going on. The hot end didn't just have socks. Can we not? Okay. Thanks, socks. Didn't I just tell you not to come up here? No, don't rub against the camera, you silly. Go down there. Okay, sorry about that. Oh, kitties. Go eat some food. Yeah, there you go. Just eating some kibble. Okay, so, yeah, I take the hot end apart, and it doesn't just have a clog. I mean, it has a clog. And I'm staring at this clog like, how do I get this thing out? It was pretty good size. It was probably, what do I have here? We'll just use the tip of the pen. So from the very tip of the pen to about where it starts to get bigger the second time on there. It doesn't want to, it's looking at the diamond painting, and it doesn't want to focus on the pen. Anyway, yeah, so about where it starts to, that's how big the clog was inside of this machine. Because when they put the tubing in, they didn't push it all the way down against the nozzle. So initially, the clog had started to form between the nozzle and where the tubing stopped. And I, of course, thinking that they had actually made sure that this hot end was good and ready to go, wouldn't have thought to check to make sure that this tubing was actually down up against the nozzle and the hot end. We wouldn't have thought to do that. I was like, it's a brand new nozzle. They put it together. It should be good, right? No, it was not. It was not. Now I know. Check that. Check that before you take the nozzle off, and check that. Make sure that that tubing is down there, right up against the nozzle. Butt it right up against it. Snug as a bug in there. So I had to figure out how to get the clog out, which means that I had to turn the hot end on while I'm holding the hot end. yeah, this is fun. And then I didn't hold. I held on to the tubing just after the hot end, and I put a pair of pliers on the hot end because I was like not burning myself because that thing gets hot. And then I was able to push the clog out. So I got the clog out. I adjusted the tubing, made sure it was all the way down against the nozzle, put the nozzle back on, snug up against each other right in there. And any more F's anywhere else? No, I don't. Okay. Then I put it all back together. I made sure everything was working. In the process, I had lost a screw to my fan, so the fan only had one screw. I didn't think it was a problem. Maybe it was a problem, maybe it wasn't a problem. I have to remember to go check this print that it's working on right now to make sure it goes through, because that one's still having issues, but I think that is a filament issue and not a printer issue, because apparently your filament can have issues too. Like, your filament can be too moist or too dry. Who knew? Who knew you had to keep your filament at a... you know, the range of it is pretty big as far as the humidity, but I didn't know that I was like, oh, okay. This is good to know. Good to know. So now I have a filament dryer to dry my filament. So anyway, I was able to print finally, and the prints worked. Everything was good. I was able to, like I said, get that one order out. She ordered just a bunch of trays, so it was really kind of like nice and easy. And I even sent an extra tray because that's when I discovered that filament could have issues because I was having an issue with one of the filaments continuously. So I ended up putting a different filament in. I actually put the pink and black filament in, and I don't know if she's already ordered one or not, but anyway, she's getting a pink and black tray because I put the pink and black filament in to check it to see if that was the issue, and that's when I found out, yes, filament can have an issue, and the pink and black filament printed just fine. And then I was able to dry the filament just enough to get it to do a successful print, and we got a full print with the trays. So the trays are they were the medium-high side trays. She ordered 5 of them in all of the dual colors and the one triple color that I have, except for the pink and black and the Easter color, because they weren't in the shop at that point. So she got a pink and black. I was gonna do an Easter one, but I'm having trouble with the Easter filament right now, so it's not even in the shop yet. It's not in the shop yet. Because I was having all these issues for an entire week. I struggled with this machine. It's been a nightmare. So the current issue is, and this is where I need to go check it at a certain point to make sure that it's printing, because, and this is why I say it's a filament issue, because I can show you. So my pens, I print pens. So this is an old printed pen. Right? This is the old one? Yes. This is the old one. I think. So anyway, this is an old printed pen. And this is the new printed pen. I printed this for Eileen. I think she's gonna get the old one because I just noticed there's some like little holes in here. And it's not bad. Like, it still looks pretty good, but I just noticed these little holes. I'm gonna have to see if it's in the blue. But this was a successful print of the pen. This is in the purple filament. It printed successfully. It printed nicely. I was happy. This is what the blue is doing. It gets to a certain point and then it stops. Now, is the blue doing that or no? No. I wonder if that was the old print and that, because I don't see that on the blue, and the blue is printing how they've been printing. But anyway, once it gets to this point right here, so this is when it's changing over, which shows me that you can't actually put the... I read in the email that this guy had made these pens so that you could, maybe it's a certain one, maybe it's a certain file, but you could put the tubing down into it and have the air pen and use them with that. I mean, I think it's an updated file, but these, clearly you can't do that. So anyway, it gets to a point where it changes over to have the other side so that you can put a tip in the other side. And I don't know if you can see these there's a big glob of filament right here, and there's a big glob of filament right here. And I think with that, because of these globs, it's causing the nozzle to hit them and knock these off and fail the print. Otherwise, these are printing beautifully and they're printing well. And this one is the one that I printed last night, and then I put the filament in the dryer thinking that maybe that was an issue. And this is the one that was printed this morning, which I can see a difference between the way it's printing. So I am going to say that it did need to be dried. I don't know if it's going to successfully print. Now I am doing another trick that someone suggests. So, you know, keep your hopes and prayers open for me that it actually prints. Otherwise I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't. I could order another blue, I suppose, and see if that, you know, fixes the problem. The purple is a different brand. So, you know, like maybe it's a brand issue. I don't think so, though, because the brand that the blue is the one that is specifically for the printer. So I don't know. Whereas the other brand is just a PLA. Oh, thank you, Winnie. Thank you. I really appreciate the smell. It was so nice of you to do that right there in the litter box that's right there. Thank you. It's appreciated. But anyway, so I am learning a lot about my machine. I now have some ideas of what to look for when things are failing. So generally speaking, a filament issue would usually print all the way through, and then you might notice things like stringing or skips or stuff like that. And that's what it seems like to me, is that if it's a filament issue, the print is going to continue to print. It just might not look as pretty or as nice as it has before. Whereas if it is a technical issue, then you might get a failed print, you know, like a clogged nozzle. Oh, it's horrible. If you really want to see the clog, I do have a TikTok of it. All of my failed prints kind of are on there too. Not all the failed prints, but some of them. Some of them are on there. But it's, yeah, I definitely have learned a little bit more on troubleshooting my machine and being able to use it. Somebody else was like, you should just throw that machine away and purchase a better quality one. And I'm like, do I look like I'm made of money? One, this machine was pretty inexpensive, and it was, as far as, 3D printers go, and it was a recommended one for beginners, which I'm not going to say I am anymore, because now I am definitely not a beginner. I now can troubleshoot my own machine. I don't know about any other machines, but I can definitely troubleshoot this one really well. As far as issues, I'm just hoping that this works for this print and that it goes through. I'm just hoping and praying. Hopes and prayers here. Hopes and prayers that it works. I am drying the other 2 filaments for her order because I couldn't get one to print right now. And, it's not even like these are particularly difficult files to print. Like, they're not hard to print. I don't know. And then I do have some other orders, and I'm going to put the Easter color just kind of in the shop. I'm just going to call it Easter, so it will be in the shop under the items. So if you were to look at the trays and then you were to look at the color, I'm just going to have it say the color Easter, and it will be there in the shop. That's just to get the color in the shop, but I want to make sure that it's going to print first, because as of right now, I don't know that it's going to print. So I want to make sure it's going to print. I will print something with it first and check it. But I do have a couple more orders to do, and then I will do that and put the color in the shop as Easter. So if you are looking, I do have some Easter items that I want to print. I know we still have a few weeks until Easter, so there's a little bit of time. I have a couple of cute little cover minders that I want to print, and I think I showed the Peeps Easter thing before. I want to print it as a cover minder, so I'm going to see how that works, but I also have the regular size. And then I have a little Easter basket thing that I thought might make a great little trash drill Easter decoration for your diamond paintings that I want to print as a cover minder as well. And we'll see how that goes. I'm just sitting here holding my coffee right now because I'm like, I could get another color out, but my arm is kind of going numb, so I'm just taking a moment to let it rest. My arm's not as bad as it was last week. I tried to really kind of baby it a little this week at work, and I didn't work as hard as I did last week or the week before, which unfortunately is going to show in my production numbers, but it is what it is, right? So, anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. I'm gonna go check to make sure this print is working. I might as well show you. So we'll be back in just a second at the printer. Alright, well, it's still going good right now, but there is still roughly a little less than an hour before it hits that point of the print. So I can show that again in about an hour. For me, for you, it's going to be just a second. So we'll check it out and keep our fingers crossed that it's going to work. But as of right now, everything is good. Well, it knocked the blue one off at this point. So here we are watching this one to see what happens. This is the pink glow blue. I actually ordered 2 of these, so I gotta print another one after this, but so far so good. It hasn't moved, and it's pretty much in this point. So I think it's gonna be good. So it's something with the blue, which is interesting. I'm gonna try drying it again, see if maybe that's the issue. But here's this one. There's 24 minutes left of this print, but this is the point, or actually before this is when it was coming off. So fingers crossed we get further. Never mind, that's it. It's in the final stages. It's done it. This print is going to complete. This is awesome. You have no idea how awesome this is. Like, oh, it is good to know that it is the filament and not the print or the printer.